Super Nintendo Chalmers? I'm learning.
Way to go, Ralph.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Diablo 4. At time of recording we are 2.5 hours away from getting our hands on Diablo 4 1.0. And I gotta say I am getting more excited to play this game. My Wolfpack Druid, I now have the build planner all out for it, and I feel like I am good to go. I have the knowledge. Somebody sent me this video. This is top 15 tricks for D4 you should know before you play. And even though I have a good knowledge of the game, maybe you do not. Maybe you haven't been following it, so this is going to be a good course for you if you are about to jump into Sanctuary. This is from MMORPG.com. Top 15 tips and tricks, at least from what they say. I haven't watched this yet. Let's see if we learn something.
Despite being able to fast travel, obtaining your mount is going to make it much easier to explore the world. Early on, you'll be brought to the stables as part of the story, and you'll be told that you can't get your horse until you complete Donan's favor. Don't waste time fiddling with side quests trying to figure out how to get that prize pony. If you want to earn it faster, stick to the story, and the horse will unlock in Act 4.
Tip 1. Stick to the main story. Get your mount at Act 4. Okay, I guess if you're speed running, that's important. Next.
You'll be introduced to new vendors early on in the game, and with it, you'll have a lot of opportunities to buy new gear and upgrade the gear that you have. Don't let the allure of shiny new gear that boosts armor damage a little bit in the shops fool you. The game's swift early leveling will prove that they are mere stepping stones for leveling up. Exceptions might include unique legendary gear fixes, but even then, it's advisable to save those pieces for when you've significantly outgrown them, and you can take that gear to the occultist, remove the aspect, and place it on a stronger piece when you're nearing the capstone World Tier 3 trial. Saving a little gold will come in handy when you take into consideration the high costs of upgrades at the higher levels. Altars of Lilith are valuable statues in the game that enhance not only the base stats of your current character, but also those of any subsequent characters that you create, which provides a significant advantage overall. Because of their stat bonuses, you will definitely want to try to locate all the altars, which is a task that can be time-consuming given that they are often off the beaten path. Luckily, the interactive map from our friends at DiabloFans.com will make it much easier for finding every altar of Lilith, so you can...
Makoko seeds. It's literally what this is.
Stop searching and start combating the forces of hell like you were meant to. If you're like me and you feel the need to theory craft some builds, don't even hesitate, because you can respec your character at any time to try out new builds. You can choose to take back all of your points and completely reinvent your build from scratch, or you can simply take back a single point at a time, making minor changes until you have the exact build that you want. This way, you don't have to worry about making the right choice forever.
It's so interesting on all of these reviews, at least from these big studios, MMORPG, IGN, they're always using a controller. Nothing wrong with using a controller, just find it ironic.
Just make a build that works for you now until you find some of those sweet aspects that will change how you play later on.
It's also interesting that tip 3 is save your gold, and tip 4 is don't worry about respecking, because respecking costs gold. Sorry.
Ensuring that you can heal yourself with potions will be crucial as you progress through Diablo 4. In order to do that, you'll need to remember that potions are upgraded at different level thresholds at the Alchemist, and upgrades take a bunch of materials in order to craft the next tier. The early upgrade materials are all easy enough to find without much fuss by playing through the story while grabbing a few plants along the way. Just don't forget to swing by the Alchemist every 10 levels to upgrade your potion, with the exception of one upgrade at level 45, which is going to prepare you for endgame and the capstone World Tier 3 trial. Consumables are great to help you through a tough battle, but elixirs in Diablo 4 can help you do much more. Sure, elixirs can increase your armor, your attack speed, your defense against particular damage types, and more, but they grant you a 5% experience boost, and the elixirs also last about 30 minutes. So you don't want to wait for the elixirs to drop. Instead, you should head over to the alchemist, the NPC that we just talked about that helps you craft your health potions, and use some of those spare materials to craft the elixirs of your choice. That way you can have an extra 5% experience boost all the time and increase some of the stats you care most about. If you're playing in a group, you can also craft some incense there for group buffs, if that's your thing.
I learned something. 5% experience boost. Okay, good.
In Diablo 4, if you want to become strong, focus on map completion. The game map is split into regions, and each region has their own benefits, which include bonus XP and gold. But the real rewards that are account-wide are the skill points, potion capacity, and an increase to your maximum obols. And you'll also get some Paragon points, which you can use to upgrade your Paragon skill tree, which is a separate class tree that you unlock after level 50. In order to unlock these region bonuses, you simply need to complete dungeons, find waypoints, unlock Altars of Lilith, discover all the areas, and well, you get the gist. But you can find out what is left to complete in the region progress tab of your map. You'll definitely want to check that out. There will come a time when you're going to want to prioritize finding the best gear and meticulously re-rolling stats, upgrading them, and changing or adding new aspects to them. In order to do that, you'll need to salvage some gear in order to have the right materials for the upgrades, and of course, you'll want some gold in your pocket as well. However, each gear piece has its own visual style too, and you can add these styles to your wardrobe by heading to the blacksmith and salvaging an unknown style. You can find styles that you haven't unlocked when you're salvaging at the blacksmith by the little icon on each style that you haven't unlocked and a notation at the bottom that states it will unlock a new look on salvage.
I learned another
This
thing.
way you can easily see
Maybe I
which
don't know
items you
anything.
can salvage and which you might want to sell instead. If you're a Diablo veteran or just an ARPG powerhouse, you'll be able to challenge the Cathedral of Light capstone dungeon when you're far below level 50. And there's a good chance you might actually win, despite the battle being quite challenging. But take it from my experience, the enemies of World Tier 3 start at around level 53, which means that everything starts with an extreme advantage against you, even if you beat it at level 50. Rushing to World Tier 3 may not be the type of challenge that's even worth it until you're close enough to level 50 to make use of all the new gear that you'll find. But if you really are angling to brave World Tier 3, a little underleveled, there is one upside. The increase in experience for getting to World Tier 3 will help you hit that level 50 mark much faster. Just remember, if you do go to World Tier 3 early and can't hack it, you can always drop back down to World Tier 2 until you're ready. While adventuring through Diablo 4, you're going to come across locked treasures known as silent chests. You definitely don't want to pass these treasure chests without any whispering keys. Luckily, whispering keys are actually quite easy to find if you know where to get them. All you need are a few obols, which drop from completing world events and obol caches, and then you can head on over to the Purveyor of Curiosities and scroll to the bottom of their gear list, which he sells whispering keys for 20 obols a pop. You'll want to stock up with several whispering keys before you even head out into the world, and then make sure that you head back to the Purveyor when your obols get close to maxing out, because they will max out and you don't want to just leave obols on the ground. Then just buy more keys or take a chance and roll for some new gear. You might actually get some nifty new legendaries if you're lucky. It's easy to rush through the story and forget to stop and grab waypoints when you rush past them. Let this be a reminder that grabbing new waypoints will not only help you speed around the world faster, but they are also necessary as part of map completion. The last thing you want to do is have to run back to a remote part of the map to grab a waypoint that you forgot. But if you're not sure if you're missing any waypoints, utilize the interactive map at Diablo Fans to make sure you've grabbed them all. After a particularly tough battle and the boss explodes in a rainbow of different rewards, the next question you may ask yourself is, do I have enough bag space to haul all of this back? And chances are, if you're in a dungeon, the answer is probably no. In Diablo 4, you don't have to decide if you should pick up everything or leave some behind. At any time in a dungeon or out in the open world, you can open a portal to the town of your choice and sell or salvage items, and then return exactly where you left off. All you have to do is choose a location on your map, and once you're there and in the town and done selling, return to the portal you created, which is located just above the waypoint. Don't leave your trash gear behind. Turn your trash into gold.
Last
If
epoch,
you're
return
rushing through the
portals.
story so
We
you
like
can
these.
Get your horse, or you just want to get the story done, you don't have to worry about whether side quests will be there when you're done. Although some of the story elements might have differences for side quests, the vast majority of the quests won't change at all, and nothing completely disappears. That means that you don't have to worry about missing a few quests along your story journey. Just come back to them when you want. And even if you skip the story entirely on your next character, all of the same missions will be there for you to play through again. Take the game at your own pace, without worrying about missing questing content. It will be there. In the early game, if you really want to create a build with legendary gear, but you're finding it hard to get those drops, you can easily craft these items at the Occultist. After level 30, you'll need additional materials such as baleful fragments and coiling wards if you want to imprint Codex of Power aspects onto your gear, but hopefully by then you'll have far more options to choose from. However, in the early game, to find the best aspects in the Codex of Power, just open up your Codex of Power and sort by aspects that are for your class. Then use Diablo Fan's interactive map to find out which dungeon houses that aspect. That way you can plan out which dungeons to beat to unlock that Code of Power aspect and have a ton of legendary items, even if you've never gotten a legendary drop. If you're a min-max type of player like me,
These are pretty
and
good
you want to know
tips.
whether or not the drops you're getting are actually better or worse than what you've got, then you will need some advanced information. And that's where the Advanced Compare and Advanced Information options come in. Both of these options are available to all players from the options menu. Just go to the gameplay tab
Oh, screen
and
shake,
scroll
bro.
about halfway down. You should see both options and make sure they are turned on. The advanced information option is especially important because it shows you not only how much each stat increases or decreases, but it also shows you the stat roll limits for your level of gear. For example, it will show you that for your level, your vulnerable damage limits are between 20 and 27%. That means if the gear you're looking at is 21%, you know that you're on the lower end of the roll pool. This will be especially helpful when trying to find that god roll loot with all top end stats.
All right, everybody, what do you think of that list from MMORPG.com? Are those good 15 tips and tricks? Is there something that they missed? Did you learn anything? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I deserve it. And if I don't deserve it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 87 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I get asked all the time, Aaron, what's the best way to support? The best way is Patreon. For as little as $1 a month financially, you get access to the VIP lounge and Discord. You get a special title. You get access to the bonus hour on the podcast. You get access to live stream audio and video with me. So many goodies. Best way to support, and you get something out of it. First link in the description. D4 Wolfpack coming tonight, tomorrow. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.